stop recording.
No, stop recording.
Hello,
We're gonna have to come in and
your coach,
Thank you.
good with your hand.
manage recording and stop it. And then it'll make that file. I will check it tonight. I've got a bunch of stuff to do for Merrill baseball, but
I did.
so you are recording right now, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yep. See you guys later.
Have a good one.
How's it going tonight?
I'm Amanda Hurt.
Mike,
Hello, Mike.
nice to meet you.
Nice. What's up?
Talk to you on the phone a little bit today.
Yeah.
Now, he'll be dead.
It's right here.
You're all day today?
For the most part.
All right. And you're here tomorrow and Thursday?
You're welcome.
If you need it, honest or whatever, I'll give me a call. I'm retired and I can come over and try out with you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right. Appreciate you helping us.
Thanks.
We were in the Keys last week. 88 degrees. Hard to take. It actually was. Hi, Amanda.
About better.
Go ahead.
6 degrees, I start to melt. And they. Weather person.
Going to, sorry, we're going to, New Mexico. Otherwise you can call
How's he doing? Okay. Ella.
No, no,
Oh shit, I'm still.
exactly. You don't expect.
Oh, hell. I see.
Should have had my wife tune in at home.
Working on it. That's nice. Right. Yeah. Yes.
You want to move to the copy? What are you looking for?
This is difficult, but just to get the fact of all.
Okay. You
You just
just
got a
or
single set.
what do you normally use? Okay. Now reading the stubs.
You didn't do it, Jeffy. They run them all off. We all do.
This is a total list of everything there.
Can we make a copy?
I can make. With all of them. Perfect. I will run those up.
Rode around the field, does that count? I'm serious.
I have no idea.
It counts. They did like 3/4 of the gas.
Stop on. Fix it up.
Could be the same board stage.
That's all surprising.
Really? Yeah, I think I think that would go to lot. But that way, you kind of, where else do you go?
Yes.
Yes, and I would. Let's see.
She running the check he do.
So probably got two seats there.
So not only was he driving a pink sled, all he did put it up. All at home in the back of the truck.
Yeah, nice.
Double kick. Shorts.
I'm like, oh.
I'll be home. See.
But
I'm gonna check these.
it's gotta have a quick few miles.
Her normal family. Yes, it's like. The check detail. Everybody just finish or.
On the opposite end, Dave's cousin, dad, I think, got about a $25,000 snowmobile.
So you she's still
Right.
every 3 years will be warranty.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Keep.
Everyone's yelling at the screw stuff. I don't remember if I bought it last year or not, but yeah, it was like 40 or 50. And after I had a $10 snow shack gift card.
Crazy.
Right.
And I might also.
Yeah.
That's the general.
Oh.
And so those two. I quick one.
Right? You asked on your the other night. Oh, God. There's.
Niagara Falls, like towards. Yeah, I watched like before the fight.
That'd be interesting.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order, apologize for the delay. We will start by saying pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible.
We'll call everyone's present this evening. Got the minutes from the last meetings. Minutes of the January 9th, 2023 board meeting. Excuse me. Any questions on them?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the January 9th, 2023 board.
Please,
I'll second.
all in favor?
One again.
Daryl.
Daryl.
Covered. 1 second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next are the minutes of the January 9th, 2023 Town of Merrill Caucus minutes. Any questions on that?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the
January 9th caucus minutes. All in favor?
I'll second that.
Daryl. Sorry, I didn't hear. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And next are the minutes of the January 17th, 2023 board special board.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes on January 17th special meeting.
Second,
I got it.
Tim Mischke, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the treasury's report.
All right, the CD account has $40,000 in it. The money market account has $501,703.33. The general checking account balance is $40,279.33.
And our ARPA funds
account has $301,777.52.
Any questions on treasurer's?
I'll make a motion to approve the trade report.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is to approve the vouchers that are listed.
Was the powerhouse check, was that for the chainsaws that we had talked about?
That was actually for repairs on one saw and then the purchase of a new saw.
Okay.
The cost of just repairing that saw was, I think, $260 almost.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the approve the tax voucher returns. You got a list of them?
I'll make a motion to approve the tax vouchers.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is old business, to discuss roads and road maintenance. Mother Nature's been kind to us here the last couple of weeks. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But I think all the ice pretty much off most of the roads that I've noticed. Anybody else have any comments?
I noticed on our WTA emails, there is a bridge grant out there and it's 100% payment. So they give us 100% of the money of what we want for a bridge. And we need to turn it in by March 23rd. I don't know if that bridge off of Schultz Spur qualifies. And if we want to put a box bridge in on Thiel, if that will qualify for that grant. And if we have any other bridges.
The only real bridge we have, I mean, as far as what the county inspects is the one off of Mill Street.
And
That's been inspected last year and it's passed inspection, so.
Did we,
Is that for repairs or is that for new construction?
we have to look into it a little further, but it's guaranteed 100% payment. So I think it'd be worth looking into, especially for that one off Schultz Spur. It's pretty rough. And if we can get a new bridge off of Thiel for our water problems we have every spring, I think that would work great.
That was just recently on the website, Cutler.
I got that email today.
On some state, because I looked Saturday and there's nothing on there.
I'm familiar with that one and am I on?
I believe.
Okay, I'm familiar with that. It has to be a bridge that's, I believe, 21 feet wide. And it has to be at 50% or less as far as the rating.
Oh,
So, but it is something to look into. I haven't heard that it's for new construction. When I had gone to their meeting, it was just, it had to be 50% or less for the rating and then 21.
okay.
What did they mean by 50% or less for the condition?
I think that would definitely be something we should look into for the Schultz Spur one at least, see if we can get anything off of that. I'm not 100% sure how wide it is.
That's not even, I mean, no, you know, that's not even classified as a bridge. I mean, that should have actually a culvert.
We can try.
We can try it. We can look into it. Yeah. I'll talk to John on that. But anything else on road or maintenance?
Well, I'm looking at that email that we got. And it has a list of the eligible bridges and there are only 3 in Lincoln County. That is 2 in Corning, 1 on MM, 1 on M, and 1 in Tomahawk on County D.
So we don't even qualify for anything.
No, because they must be going by the inspections as to which ones would.
Qualify. The only one that actually a bridge, so to say, in the township is that one that we have on Mill.
And we want Pope, but we don't even,
That's nowhere past.
that's not ours.
Yeah, you can just click a link on there and it says, look at the list of eligible bridges.
Thanks, Daryl. Good thought, Cutler. Next on the old business to discuss equipment maintenance.
I was gonna go back to the roads.
Oh, you had something else to add?
Well, when are, I know it's early, but there are some potholes getting pretty bad. I don't know if we're looking at doing any cold patching on some of them. I noticed on Hillside down by the railroad track, I mean, there looks like pretty big holes there.
Possibly next week, if it stays dry. I don't know how it adheres to, if there's a special mix to use in this cold temperature. We never patched this early.
The only time we had patches really was during spring breakup and it just blew
Blew
out
out.
of the hole right away. I don't know how.
I didn't stop and look, but when I came across it, it looked like it
I know,
looked really good.
yeah, I noticed some over off of Mill Street there by the tracks there too. Them are really bad, but there again, it's,
Would they have put a little bit of gravel in there or something till
That's
I know
gonna
it's gonna
pound
wash
out.
out.
There's frost that's coming out. Once that frost comes out of the ground, it's gonna push everything out. Yeah. Um,
Unless there is some special mix that the county uses, I have no idea.
I haven't ever heard nothing.
All I know
That
is
we have,
we don't have anything that they have that would work.
City was patching today.
I know the county was doing it last week on 107.
maybe there's a special mix that binds better. I have no idea. But
I'll talk to Mitch and maybe he can,
if it stays decent, maybe just to run some patrol and get the worst ones. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea.
All I know is that the cold patch that we do normally use, if we'd use it right now, it'll blow out in probably a couple of weeks.
Where did we get the cold patch from?
Lincoln County.
Maybe they would know. Maybe they got a special mix, maybe call and ask them, I guess, have Mitch call and ask them.
I'll send Mitch on that.
anything else on roads and road maintenance? You can think of? Next, on old business, discuss equipment maintenance. That estimate came through on
OCD there for that Peterbilt. I don't know. My thought is, it's up to the board in the future, but to hold on that and see what happens possibly for next year. I mean, it's up to the board, but I mean, it's I think $5,000. So
And what was wrong with it?
the front end,
Yeah, there's a problem with
the bushings are bad in the front end. Yeah, I don't know what else, but I mean, I didn't go through the whole list. I just looked at the bottom number and. But it'll make
What truck
the
was
year.
one that got hit?
Western Star.
It'll make the year, the Peterbilt, this late in the season, but it's just something that if we do retain it, the board, if the town retains that, it'll have to be repaired before the next season next year.
Did we get all the insurance?
I'm still waiting on a quote.
That's been over 4 weeks.
probably closer to 5. Repairs, and I called the insurance
Adjuster, the other day when I was in and left a message, gave him my phone number. This phone number has not returned the call. So he's waiting on something for the numbers, but like I said before, the individual had no insurance. So we have to pay the first $1,000 deductible and then go through wage garnishment to get our money back from that individual. That's a process. I don't think the town should be out. I think wage garnishment should go through, follow through with that.
And we just had some maintenance on our grader. Correct?
Yes, they had changed the filters and did that in-house. When I talked to Mitch last week, I noticed an oil leak. Found out that it was a hose and they fixed the hose because it couldn't be transported, so they did all that in-house. Which was good. So that's ready to go.
I guess my only question is, I know they were there working on it, but couldn't we have just done the hose? I mean, I don't know.
You should have seen that as right in that hub of that front differential.
Okay,
And it needed specialized tools to get that out of there. So.
Okay.
We did everything. And it's a special hose too, as well, I believe.
all right.
Anything else? Next on old business, improve signage and fire number signs. As I did my tour of the township, looking at road signs, stop signs, there's a lot of them that are bad, but there's a lot of them that would fall under the category of the county's responsibility for the stop signs with the reflectiveness. Because the way I understand it, the ones that lead up to county roads are a county responsibility.
Yes.
So there's an awful lot of them that, and there are some that are faded to a point where should be something done.
I think,
Mainly the east-west, of course.
I think it's stop signs and everything else that's their responsibility, but the actual road signs themselves, name of the roads is ours.
That's ours, yeah. So, but there should be a list made of them. And I was thinking as Mitch is going around putting weight limits coming up here shortly, that he can make a list of them and jot them down. As far as the fire number signs, I don't know if anybody had looked into that price of them, but there again, it wasn't really budgeted for this year. That would be something that
I looked into them
you find out, Mike.
and I'll have a better number next month and possibly the county got COVID money. And they might be paying for a certain percentage of the signs and fire numbers. They might be paying them all, they might not be paying anything, it all depends how much money they have left.
So does that have to go through the county board then?
I didn't get into that much detail about it, I heard through the grapevine. Probably know a little bit more next month, so.
Well, we'll leave that then on old business.
Is there any grants that we could possibly get for that?
Nothing I'm aware of.
And did you, does it matter where we, leave the discuss roads and maintenance and equipment all on old business? She had to write that down.
Yeah, that stays on there.
Okay,
It's just-
all right, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else on the signage?
No.
Have to discuss approved policy for DOT controlled substance and alcohol test following injury at work and following damage to property. And who's got one of the copy of the last meeting? Did you have a chance to review that?
I don't think I got a copy for that.
Everybody got a copy?
He wasn't here.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Okay.
I read through it before the last meeting or then.
Well, what it does basically, Daryl, it kind of protects the township to a point. For somebody getting injured or a wreck of any kind.
I thought we were just basically changing it out, and that's the way we were going to move forward with it, that we would have had a new copy of it with Town of Maryland instead of Lincoln County, and then we would have been adopting it.
Well, it'd be that same format, but it was to you guys to look over, and exactly, it'd be adopting that same format, but using the Town of Maryland instead of Lincoln County. But actually, everything would be the same requirements, testing, and everything else, basically. It'd be something that every employee would need to read through and sign off on, that they would agree to this. That they would test it under them circumstances if there was an incident of any kind. So that'd be just something that we would do for all new employees. So. But I guess if we're gonna, you want to make a motion, Daryl, to approve that with the conditions of using Town of Maryland instead of Lincoln County?
Yeah, I will make a motion to adopt the county's verbiage in the commercial driver's license, testing after incident, with changing Lincoln County out and adding town of Merrill into the text.
I'll second it.
Tim Mischke seconds. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on old business is discuss approve Prairie Road and Airport Road projects. I guess our first priority, I think, is the Airport Road project. And I don't know if any of you had a chance to talk to John on this, at the county level, what his proposals, but we do need some engineering done and kind of slipping away, but, there again, I'm sure Airport Road needs patching. That's pretty rough.
I did stop in and talk to John about this.
Good.
One thing I want to bring up is if we want to do that turnaround on the north end of the road,
Mhm.
we need to acquire some land
Yes.
for that turnaround. We need to figure out how much we need to acquire and if they're willing.
And I had talked to all three individuals at the end, and I had talked to Sean from the engineering firm that the county uses, and he made the statement, I thought it was agreeable that instead of trying to take three small parcels from three individuals to take one portion from the end, which makes a transaction, because the township has to purchase it, make a purchase price. It can't be just given. So that's where engineering comes in to make that swing. Instead, it complicates with three individuals versus one is the main thing. But it has to be surveyed, staked, and the guy in the end is probably the less of all three of them that's impacted if we have to acquire 10 feet, for example. For that width of it's a 66-foot roadway. 4-rod road. So that would hopefully be sufficient for what they need. But they were all everybody was happy with the idea of having a larger turnaround there. So there was no objection there.
Is there any, like a spec book on that grant that we got for that? Are we supposed to just follow DOT's specs or?
Whatever that and just, yeah, I mean, there's a DOT spec with every roadage. And the thing is,
Do we have to hire a
well, and that's what
inspector or?
well, the county's all wrapped up in one. That's the duty part of it, the county, but they have the engineering there, that would be separate. That they would be, contracting that the town would be paying basically for. And, that would be the ones that would be doing the oversight of that project. So.
If we had the county just do it, they're just gonna do it time and material, or do we have a?
Well, there's two ways, John, this is the thing, there's two ways to do it. And John was looking to the process of which way would save the township. A little bit of money, but yet get the job done, and it's depending on where pavement is coming from. If they're gonna start paving on County K South, they're gonna be able to plant up on Michael's plant, which is not a very long haul. Versus one up in, or Mitchell, Joe, it's the town hall. So, timing is everything on the pavement. It's where they get it from and price per tonnage. So that's something that, I touched on with John, and he's very knowledgeable on that. He just highlighted a few things for me, but as far as for me to be an expert, no, I'm not an expert on it. But he did say that there's two ways of doing it. He wanted to know the best route for the township. And I kind of left that in his hands to look into it. But bottom line, I guess, is that the board needs to have the approval to do it first for, and what route they want to go. The longer we procrastinate, so to speak, the less likely that we're gonna be able to get into because if they move out of that plant, and I don't know how big of a project or when they're starting the one down in Wausau, but that's a big project. So.
So who's gonna survey the end of it then? Survey and get the turnaround.
The survey and engineering would be done by, it's called MTI Engineering. And the county uses them. And so. But that, I mean, that all comes with a cost, but that's all part of it. I mean, that's depending on if we have to acquire land, you know, that has to go through a process through attorney and the deeds. And I mean, it takes time.
So how do we even know we can get it done then this year?
If the board decides on doing it, I guess the big thing for John and the county is that as a board, we need to approve that project for one, primarily. And, you know, put the ball basically in the county's hands and have them plan it for us and get the engineering done and the land acquisition done at the end of the road for our turnaround. If we do need it. And that's the thing. They had thoughts that maybe they could make that swing without buying property, maybe, but they had to survey it.
I think we should get the surveying done, and then I think that road project should get the bid out to the public, not the county. I think that money should.
County can always bid.
Their time material, they're bidding, they can't really bid. County operates strictly on time material. They're great for culvert replacements and stuff, but
You know, and that was two ways that John wanted to see which way would save money depending on the pavement price. And that's up in the air. You know, there's no way for him to know what pavement's gonna be in the next 4 months. He can have an idea, but that could fluctuate by 20%.
I just think we should write up a spec, you know, what, 4 or 6 inches of gravel on that road, get it ground and have it paved. Let's, Brandon, you had a question?
With a lot of these grants, I believe you do have to put it out on bids, or otherwise, if you just award it to the county, they might not give you your grant or take your grant money away. Just, you might want to look into that to make sure.
Yeah.
Because I believe it has to go out on bids.
Funny, John didn't mention that because he knows that.
He wrote the grant.
The job.
Well,
If you
yeah,
get the job, then it's.
yeah, but I mean, that's.
Yeah, he didn't mention that.
When I did talk to John, I mentioned the bidding process and he said, this is the LRIP funding, correct? Scott?
Yes,
He said we don't have to bid with LRIP. And that's just what he said to me. We check into it and make sure.
So once we bid that project, we're obligated to take the lesser of all bids.
Wait, write the specs, you gotta follow it. Yeah.
So for me to talk to John and ask him, you know, to bid that job and, you know, I shouldn't say that, to write the specs on that job, who do I contact to write the specs? So I get a hold of American? I don't know enough about that type of road.
I get a hold of an engineering firm to write up specs.
Well, then we'd use that same
Call,
engineering firm, that MTI that the county uses on.
Kevin Cole up in Tomahawk did their road last year. You can call and ask him, if there's any specific specs on what we have to follow.
And there's a lot of driveway blending on that particular road. So that comes at a cost, but yeah, I'll reach out to them guys, but, tech, I guess, time's ticking away and, but we should have them bids out, and this is the thing, it's this February, I mean, this should have been done this next month, and I don't see it happening next month. I mean, with engineering, and in order for that team to be spec, so to say, they have to know what that turnaround is at the end. But that's just a shot in the dark otherwise.
Well, then we have to get moving on that turnaround now.
Yes,
That's first thing.
I just need for approval and a motion to hire that engineering firm to get moving on that.
We oversee it.
The town, yes, the town oversees that.
Do we have a estimate price?
I know he threw a number out there, but I'm not even gonna, because it's all, what do you do? You shop around for engineering, and when they're all so booked up that,
What was the number?
15,000. Just for the turnaround and survey. But that was just a number off the top of his head, so I'll reach out to Sean, his name was, from MTI, and see if we can get a price, but do we want us to keep a money value on it, or should we just set up another meeting after I get some kind of a pricing from him? But I can't move forward until the board approves this. I mean,
I don't know a whole lot how engineering works. That seems to be about double of what I figured it would go
oh
for.
yeah, my eyes open right up too.
That just seems.
Yeah.
Like a ton of money.
It is a ton of money.
Anybody out there know anything?
No.
Pricing?
I know it's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Engineering is very expensive.
For example, that culvert on Schultzburg Road. Yeah, they would have engineered that. Not the county did that. I had a price of over 20,000.
Can we go there, talk to the guy,
Quick guide, like,
the owner of the property, say we need this much for a turnaround? It's gonna be roughly, stake it out,
and just talk to them between the township and
we township in it, and then you can always get a surveyor to make it exact.
not what the engineering firm had said. It has to go through all the deed process because that property.
Then you give it to the lawyer, our lawyer to,
Possible, but and to hire a survey crew and survey it and find the property lines, and you still have to find exactly, because that's a complicated corner. There's 3 property owners there.
but you're gonna have to get it surveyed if you go, beyond our easement, no matter what. You're probably gonna have to get it surveyed. No matter what. I would think
You have to, yes. Yeah, even for our right of way, you don't exactly know when that road was built, where it was actually placed.
Where the center is, yeah, right.
So
Is We have, what, 66 feet of easement,
That's a 4 rod road, yes.
so is that enough to turn a truck around?
You can, but
It's tight.
And then we need a place to put the snow.
we, most of the time, like that turnaround there, we go into the guy's yard going west and
Or yes, yeah,
kind of you pretty much going to people's driveways, backing up well, into somebody's yard. That is how that one works.
but that's a tough turnaround. So we can, I can get some prices on the engineering, other than MTI. That's who the county recommended, but, that they would do everything at once, but, problem is a lot of times engineering firms don't want to do small jobs. They want the big jobs. And when small jobs come up, they can't charge enough money, they're not doing it. So
I think it's, REI does surveying, don't they?
they do some engineering, but they're not, I don't know how involved they are with road projects. They're more environmental. I'll get a quote from MTI. Again. In paper. And go from there. Any other discussion? Not, we'll move on to new business. Next on new business is discuss approved resolution 2023-02. Revisions to Lincoln County zoning ordinance related to permitted and conditional land uses by zoning districts. These guys got all that paperwork that the county sent. They're just reissuing or changing, the, I say the restrictions on a different type of, zoning, basically what it is. Did you look at that chart? What they're crossed out and what they're adding to accommodate different aspects of it.
This is something they're gonna go forward with no matter what, right?
Yeah, and two, again, they like to hear from the townships that the county represents of this. And there again, it's something that I think is something they're changing for hopefully the better, but some of it I just disagree to a point. But there again, I think a lot of it's in the best of the township's interests. Need a motion to approve it. Okay. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll second that.
Everything else second. All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on new business is the intergovernmental cooperation agreements, the towns and emergency management services. Did you guys get the copy of all this? Did you get copies of this?
I got the email of it.
You got the email.
Yeah.
You read through it, Cutler? Did you understand what they're doing?
I read through most of it and
I was a little bit,
I sat there and went, wow, it was kind of hard to, I had to read through it a couple times.
yeah, and Amanda, do you mind explaining a little bit? You have a good understanding of this, because she goes through this with the town of Pine River. And if you wouldn't mind, just giving
Sure.
what we talked about.
I had called and spoken with someone there asking specifics because with the funding being taken from a lot of places with the fire protection and emergency services for ambulance, I was concerned that it had something to do with that. They said that it did not. It was relating to a statute that they had to have the intergovernmental agreement years ago. And now it is no longer needed. It's out of the statute. So they wanted to get rid of something that they did not need, but it would not be affecting any of our services.
And I was concerned too, when I read through a Cutler, like if where is catastrophic event, like a tornado or, and I asked, in fact, Amanda here for Pine River last year and the county helped with them a lot. And it'd still be available to help townships. And that's what I was concerned about. But no, that doesn't.
Good enough.
We still have it. Any other questions on that? And if you wanted to read through it, anybody else? Did anybody else want to read through it?
I got the email.
Did anybody else want to read?
I read through it on the
You did,
email.
okay.
So
you got our turn?
Can I keep it? Absolutely. Next is the correspondence. One thing I did get, and I don't know if anybody's interested in from the board, but it's an asphalt pavement seminar that's happening, I believe it's March 23rd in Atherton. If anybody's available to make it, I think there'd be good information there. I guess, it takes, I think you have to register by the end of this month. I believe, don't quote me on
Was it
that.
through?
It's through the WTA. But I got the paperwork in the office. If anybody's interested in signing up for that, might be a good thing to look into. I mean, it talks about shouldering, pavement conditions. I'm sure they're gonna touch on potholes, you know, good information, what new products are. Something to think about. Next correspondence I had, I talked to Mitch today and he got some information on taking an online course for safety protocol on roads. And I talked to the county several times before this to get them involved in classes, and it seems like nothing's available through the county, so I thought it would be a good idea to send Mitch this. It's a 2-session seminar, 4-hour seminar. I believe they said it's a $95 fee. And of course, it's time, but I thought it would be well worth the training, and I don't know if there's any other buddy that's available that wants to be involved with that, to take it here possibly. If it's an online thing, I don't know if we can stream that through here.
Should be able to do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I talked to Mitch about. And I don't know enough technical stuff, maybe.
It's basically a computer, so we should be able to hook up to the.
That's what I thought, if we could utilize the system, and if anybody else from the town would want to do that. He was saying that he's thinking there's 2 courses, or 2, not courses, but 2 time periods. There's one coming up this Wednesday and Thursday. That's kind of late notice. He just told me about it today. So, I just asked him to get back to me and see when the next scheduling is. So, if anybody's available, even for the board members, to get an idea of, might be something interesting to find out what's going on. So, that's all I have for correspondence. Anybody else have any correspondence then? Anybody should know. Do you have anything else, Amanda, join?
I do not.
Okay, all right. Public comment, anything for public comment this evening?
Have we got anybody, building something for us to cover that?
I have no idea. Last one that was involved with that was Mark Stowe, and I don't know if he had made any plans up or had any ideas. And I just mentioned to him that, you know, that there's people in the township that are capable of that, but, and I think he was gonna interact with Rick Newman's a good builder, I believe. And I don't know if Rick has any interest, but there again, you know, it's something that otherwise we're gonna have to look into hiring a cabinet maker of some kind. I don't know if anybody else has any ideas, but
Last I heard is that Mark wasn't interested at
He
the
wasn't.
moment in
Okay.
doing it, but in our best interest to protect our investment, we should definitely call a cabinet maker for that as soon as possible.
Call John, Tomajic or
what's his name?
Tomajic, John?
Do you have a phone number? Do you know, is he local?
Yeah. I don't have his phone number off.
I guess, yeah, I'll give a ring to, he might be interested in that.
Was that him?
Marty Swan.
Okay.
You build kitchen cupboards,
Oh, well, there we go.
remodels.
All right. Tell him we're looking kind of like a commercial curtain that can roll back on one side.
When we talk to a barn door type thing, then.
That Marty Swan from Merrill Construction?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
I'll give them a ring.
yeah, I don't mean. Any other public comment?
No, I would,
Joe Wickman.
Steve, would you be interested in building something, you know?
Probably not right.
Okay. That's fine.
Not at this.
When we talk about, one other thing I have is our employees really need to be trained on road signage though. And I'm somewhat familiar with that from my past employer, but in the last 2 months, I've called the Lincoln County Highway Commissioner because the crews on 17 were working outside their flagging and when they were hot patching Highway 17. One day was right on the corner of 17 where, I forget the gentleman that died a couple of years ago right there.
You know what I mean?
So our employees do need,
And I think too, Tony, I think that touches on, you know, with that seminar, I think a lot of that touches on that.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. And that's the thing, long as it's all DOT
Right.
certified and not just a fly by night and, but yeah, no, that's very important and, I agree. Any other public comment? Now I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Also.
Right. Through this, I just sent Joe a message. Well, you're gonna cut all PC.